Hey there, it's Paul. Welcome back to another video on the channel. No wet plate this week, so I hope you're not disappointed, but you can probably already tell. I'm working with a ballerina named Nashi in the studio, a place called Breakforth Studio here in Cleveland. Beautiful window light you can see there. It's late afternoon a couple weeks ago. It's my first time working with Nashi. She is a professional ballerina for the Cleveland Ballet, and just got together to create some content. So you see here in the beginning, just got her lined up against this post, kind of playing with the shadows that are coming in from those windows, taking a step over to change lenses. I was actually starting with a 56mm lens on my Fuji X-Pro3 there. It was a little bit too long to fit her all in the frame. So that's my favorite lens. I probably have it on my camera 90% of the time. In this case, though, I switched over to the Fuji 23mm f2. Allowing me to get in a little bit closer. So just working through some different positions and poses. It's normally what I do with this combination of verticals and horizontals. Letting her find, positions that are comfortable to her and sort of reflect her personality. And I just sort of walk around the subject to get all the different angles. I will say I wish I'd probably moved all that furniture out of the way when I got over on this side, but it still worked okay. And then we're going to stop and we're going to take a look at the back of the camera, which is something I always do. There's that first shot. So I'm always looking, reviewing, especially the first time I work with a ballerina, always reviewing on the back of the camera just to let them see where their feet and hands are and what their facial expressions look like. It's all very critical, very critical parts of ballet, and each ballerina sort of has their own ideas on what they like best and where they feel comfortable. So after the first couple sessions, I start to understand what they like and what they don't like, but that first time through, I definitely want to make sure they have say on, whether their foot is in just the right position, or their hands, or how they feel about, the expression on their face, whether I like it or not. So that was the second shot there. We're going to switch now away from that post. And here I got into this spot here. I really, really wanted to play with these shadows coming across her face and body. And this afternoon sun was pretty harsh, actually, and coming in pretty low through those windows. So she has to get down if it's going to get on her face. You'll watch me here for a number of minutes. Like, I just repositioning her, moving her around, struggling to get her face in the right place so that it's not in a shadow. And then on top of that, the material on that dress was really, really reflective. That's a Lululemon dress. So it's sort of the stretchy polyester, whatever they make Lululemon stuff out of material. And it just seemed to be really, really reflective almost. So I had a hard time balancing the exposure of her face without making that dress super bright and obvious and becoming the center of attention. You can kind of see it there in the GoPro, just how bright that thing gets. So just spending a lot of time moving her around, being very deliberate with what this frame is going to look like. It's just like a matter of, it's just a matter of inches, right? A lot of direction. So, again, I think I'm back to shooting with the 56mm lens at this point. We'll take a look when we finally get around to the picture here. But this goes on and on. And here I am, moving her more. And I'm explaining to her the whole time why. Why am I moving her around so much? Just let them know what's going on, what I like and don't like about the frame. And, getting her feedback on the position. If she's comfortable there, making sure she can take a break. Ballerinas are very used to being on their toes like that, but it's still not comfortable by any means. And here we're discussing just some more. Again, trying to work in this light. I'm telling her how bright the back of the dress was compared to her face. So I'm thinking, can I come from this other side? Will we get something interesting here? Debating where we go. I'm asking for her feedback too. Do you even like this position? Do you want to be in this light? So trying to bring her forward to catch more of that light on her face. I think we ended up staying in this spot from this point on. Got out of those shadows on the floor, which is kind of a bummer. I really, really liked those. I wanted to take advantage of those somehow, but it just wasn't going to happen. Moved her up, showing off a little bit of her leg there. You can make sure you see her point shoe under all that stuff. Obviously a very hard position to stay in for a long time. But you know, you only need it for a thousandth of a second. And again, just reviewing it, making sure she likes it, where her hair is, how her face looks, how her toe looks, whether or not she's on her box enough, that sort of thing, for her to be happy with it. You can see her talking about it there with her hands, where her toe is. So that was the image you ended up with. We completely changed gears now. We're going to go over to, there's this big sort of dining room table in this space, and I'm going to go put her up on top of that table.
It'll be now.
So here we go. And at this point, it's just framing it up and seeing what the light is like again. I had an idea I wanted to show her that I had seen. And so I'm going to share that image with her and just be like, hey, are you comfortable getting into this position? Can you get into this position? Let me see your riff on it. You make it your own. So we're kind of discussing that part of it there. I'm going to just sort of test the shot and see if I like the light, how it frames up with her. Again, this space in this room, it's a little bit longer, so I'm continuing to work with my 56mm lens. You know, want to make sure we get the shoes, want to make sure we get a bit of her legs. Get all that flow right, you know. I like how casual she made this look. So I'm backing way up again, that 56mm lens. I want to make sure I get all of the table in edge to edge, and some of those windows behind her framed up inside of there. I don't take the shot the whole way to the floor. I cut it off at about where those bar stools are, and now I'm just gonna go and move all the furniture out of the way that I don't want in the shot. So that's those chairs, and then square up these bar stools so they look a little bit more organized. And I think I ended up going back and moving the TV in a second as well, because it was sneaking into the edge of the frame.
Let's just start.
So this is the first pose we do up here, and I just give her direction sort of on her face, where her hand is. I liked her looking out the window. She's getting that light coming in from the window, which was starting to set over that way, you know, looking right at me. Three things I always like to do with everybody: have them look at me, have them look off to a side, and sort of maybe have them look up if the pose is right, if the position's right. Three very basic things. And then again, I shoot this vertically and horizontally. Just decide later which one I really like the best. Making sure her toes are nice. Moving in, and I think at this point it was when I started shooting maybe vertically. I don't remember I don't remember taking a shot this close. And again, here I'm going to start, she changes position for me, and then I start to walk around. Also start to walk around this shot. So she did that just sort of stretching out after having her leg up, and I thought it was a really nice look. Nice and symmetrical, thrown off a little bit by her leaning the opposite way of where that dress is draped. Still centered on that table, made a really nice frame.
Does it come like up, like if you did?
Always, what do you do with your hand? Constant question. Posing people. What do I do with this other hand?
Yeah, just don't want to get any shadow on your face. That's all.
And then I was watching too, also just to make sure that her elbow and that arm didn't get in front of her face and throw a big shadow across it. Again, with the light primarily coming in from that window on the left side of the screen. So she pulls herself up here to sit and check the frame, and as we review it, and I really thought that was a neat looking pose. So I had her go back into it, just sort of sit like that. It's nice and simple. You know, you still get the idea she's a ballerina because she's wearing pointe shoes, and she has amazing posture as well. So a couple shots from the front, knowing that there really isn't anything behind her. On the right side of this room, there's just a blank wall. So I'll walk around to that side where I can get this big softbox effect of that light coming in on her face. Her back, again with her posture, she created this really nice angled line with her back. You can see the point of her shoe sticking out underneath her leg over there. So you still get the idea that it's a ballerina. And I'll show you this one last shot.
All right, one change.
So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. A little bit different than the wet plate stuff I've been doing, but I do a lot more digital photography than I do wet plate photography. And I'll probably be back with another one from this series soon. Thanks.